Jake Palmer at Remax. I'm at 2693 Route 845. This is the video of the land itself and the beach. And so I'll try to give you a sense of the property lines as well as we head down to the beach. So the property goes just behind this cabin and kind of hugs right along where it's cleared. And then there is a property pin in the point of land. I'll just walk right over and show it to you. Right down in here. So the lot is surveyed. And so that means that the lot comes right around this wooded area. And it's actually a nice little point of land that gives a fair bit of privacy. And it goes right up the other side of that guest cabin and quite a ways up. I'll show you that after. And so this is kind of a nice way down to the beach. I always liked this area because it's protected and treed. It's a great place for a hammock. It's very windy today, but it really buffers the wind when you're up in here. It's got a great road down to the beach, which is wonderful because you can launch your own boats very, very easily. It's not too steep. Every now and then you got to add a little bit of gravel just to top it up after the freshet. And people will ask about the freshet. In 2018, the water came up exactly to where that log sits right there. So as you can see, that is a long way from the house. So the water was nowhere near the house, ever. And even less so in 2019. So the property wraps right around this point, meaning that you've got a point of land that kind of juts out and keeps it really private. It makes a really nice private beach. The water's relatively high today. You know, by midsummer it'll be about 3 feet lower. And so it doesn't show as much beach as it does when the water's lower or by midsummer, but as you can see, it's a very, very sandy beach. And it's nice because you've got a nice space here to have a lot of people who aren't exposed right out on the beach. It's got some nice sandy spots that are still in the shade. If you wanted to sneak a kiss away from a larger group, ask me how I know. And this is a great place right here. This is a spot where you can sit all day long and watch the kids on the river without being out in the sun getting your bald head scorched. Ask me how I know. And the property extends just about to where the green chair is here. And so that gives you a good sense of the width of the beach. As I say, midsummer, the water's a couple of feet lower, and that pulls the beach out about 10 feet from where you see it now. In terms of moorings, that boat is on one of my moorings, and then there's another mooring just beside it. They went in 4 or 5 years ago. For the docks, the sale includes the standing aluminum docks, but not the floating docks. The floating docks are going to another property. But like most people, when I first came to view this property, it really was the beach that I fell in love with. It can be really hard not only to find a sandy beach, but to find a sandy beach that is sunset facing, has deep water mooring, and privacy, pants optional privacy. A lot of times these are shared beaches or it's a long straight beach with several cottages having access to the same beach where you're watching the neighbors. Another thing I'll point out is that those docks are, I think, 110 feet long. And at the end of those docks, midsummer, you've got about 6 feet of depth. And the nice thing about that is if you like entertaining or if you've got kids, it's a really safe beach. A lot of beaches you go to your belly button and then take one more step and you're over your head, whereas this one, you'll break a sweat trying to get over your head. It's a really safe beach for kids because you don't have to worry about them hitting a drop off or a strong current. Yeah, they can play at a safe distance without ever being over their head. Access to the garage on the side there. And the property line on this side, it goes just behind this telephone pole. Actually, I'll show you the pin. The pin is just by this wooden stake. And then it goes right up behind this second cabin. Which means, like, the back of my truck is just barely over the property line. That parking area is on my property, but if I back up an extra foot, I'm over onto the neighbor's property. Outdoor workbench, potting bench just outside of the garage. You'll also notice all of the electrical is buried, both from the pole and to the cabins, as well as the water lines. And all the shutoffs for the water lines are down in the downstairs basement. There's a valving system to turn them on and off as needed. So the back of the property, really handy to have, because if you're into boating or entertaining and you need additional parking, you got tons of space up here. Nice cleared flat area with some drainage ditches to keep the water from accumulating up here or rolling down that hill. But it's a nice clear flat spot that you can park your lawnmower, your catamaran, and anything else you have. And the property line back here is just up past that stump. Oh no, actually, it's right over here in this back corner by that tree. And so it extends back behind that guest cabin and then kind of comes down diagonally behind this cabin. So the cabins are both pushed to the very edge of the property. And as I say, this second cabin could be included with the purchase of the home for an additional $50,000, but otherwise it's going to get moved prior to closing over to where the boat trailers are back here. And back there it wouldn't even be seen from this property, and it would have its own driveway access from behind up here. So no one would be coming and going from your property. There's the property pin right down here. And so then it goes up behind that area over there.